Hello everyone and welcome back to another video for Destiny 2 Season of the Dawn. Today we'll be looking at the weekly reset for January 14th, 2020. As you can see, there's a subclass update. This is already old news, so we don't have to worry about that. For some reason it just hit me as soon as I launched the game, but whatever. I just roll with it now with Destiny 2. But first, as always, we're going to go to the store and see what is new in the good old Eververse shop this week. So we have the Galloping Knight emote, which is a multiplayer emote, which looks... I don't know if it's good, and I don't know if it's bad, but I'm definitely not looking at that again, so I'm going to assume it was bad. We have the Ain't My First Rodeo for the Chaperone, which is seems to be a new ornament, because I don't think I've ever seen that. We have Saints Invocation, which is a new ship, it seems. Even comes with lore for once, which is very interesting. We have the Up in Smoke TRANSMAT effect. Very cool. And then we have the Tip of the Spear vehicle, which I swear, some of these are very new. Not gonna lie. Some of these are very new. So, interesting. We then have the Abysmal Scream weapon ornament for the tractor cannon. This is old news. I remember looking at this myself. And then we have the Traitor Primus shell. Very interesting. And then as usual, we have the Grayscale Undergrowth, the Cabal Shield Breaker, and then the Vanguard Crucible and Concentrated Matter Gem boons. Now we're going to go see what's in the Bright Dust shop this week. So as usual, we have the Shake It Out, which is an emote, of course. Interesting. We then have the Traitor Primus shell, which we've already looked at. The Ash Angel Sparrow. Interesting. We then have the Credence weapon ornament for the Trust, which I'm not going to look at just because everyone knows. It's basically the Trust with white. It doesn't really matter too much. The Abysmal Scream, which we looked at. The Virulent Grips for the Hunter. Not that good looking. And then we have the Red Legion projection, along with the Triumphant projection, the Box of Tricks, Chitin Slate, and Welded Brass shaders. Not bad for the store this week. I know there's a lot of new stuff, honestly. I don't think I've seen a couple of them. And now, as usual, what we like to do in this is we like to go around the map. So, for the sundial this week, obviously it's new every week. The modifiers are Brawler, Solar Singe, Champions Barrier, and Champions Unstoppable. And then, as usual, we have Legend, which comes with a bunch more. So, Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, everyone is returned to orbit. Tazarox, Clepsydra, solar damage increase, so it is the Solar Scion this week. Champions Barrier, Champions Unstoppable. Match Game, so enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elemental type. Your equipment will be locked. And then we have Pestilence. When defeated, Scions spawn void fire pools at their feet. So it's going to be a little bit of a doozy this week if you want to run the sundial on Legend. I still have not, but I will eventually do that. As for the Vanguard, we're going to look at the strikes and see what there is. So this week is Brawler, Grounded, and Solar Singe. And then for the Ordeal this week, it is the Pyramidion. And of course, we have Shocker. When defeated, goblins spawn arc pools that cause damage over time. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Master, and we're going to see all the burns. So we have Genesis Algorithm, incoming void and environmental damage is increased. Champions Mob, this mode contains additional champions. Radar is disabled. Enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elementals. Your equipment is locked, of course. Champions, Barrier, and Overload, and then Shocker we already looked at. As for the normal Nightfalls this week, which obviously the burns will change depending on your challenge card, we have a Garden World, Tree of Probabilities, and the Corrupted. Each of these have their own unique weapon. So make sure you do those if you don't have that. If you don't have I believe it's a Pulse Rifle for the Corrupted. The Tree of Probabilities would be the Hand Cannon, and then a Garden World. I don't think that has one as far as I know. But those are that. As for Gambit this week, I know I said, oh well, I don't really care about Gambit too much, but I'm going to start looking at it just because a lot of people seem to still run it, kind of. So Gambit this week, obviously there are no burns because Gambit does not have any burns. You know, it's Gambit after all. Gambit is Gambit. As for the Reckoning this week, it is Void Singe and Heavyweight. So I would highly recommend doing the Reckoning with these burns enabled, just because it is way better to do it with Heavyweight, you know, just so it's not unfair. This week for the Crucible playlists, we have Clash and then Breakthrough. Not bad if I do say so myself. You know, those are fun game modes. Clash is obviously Team Deathmatch, and Breakthrough is just essentially Search and Destroy / Demolition. The Tangled Shore is the flashpoint this week, so make sure that you go see Spider and do some heroic missions. Today is the Trickster, which still has probably the most annoying name that I've ever heard in Destiny. As for this week in the Dreaming City, it is the second week, so the curse is almost at its highest power. Make sure you also do the Shattered Throne for some high-level gear. And, of course, the Ascendant Challenge this week is the Chimerian Garrison at the Chamber of Starlight. Look for a guide on that later this week. Obviously, there's one already out, but I'm going to do it anyways because it is something to do besides trophy guides. As for Nessus, obviously you're wondering, why am I going to Nessus? This week in the Menagerie, we have the following modifiers: Brawler, Grounded, and Solar Singe. The heroic modifiers for the Menagerie are as follows: Extinguish, Match Game, Attrition, and Arc Singe. And the boss this week is Porgori, the Vex Hydra. So if you need to kill the Vex Hydra, make sure you run the Menagerie. As for Mars this week, if you're looking for the Escalation Protocol boss, it is Naxud the Famine. So if you need to kill him for the sword, I can't even remember the name of the sword, for the Catalyst, then make sure you go and do that. Now that we've covered all that, you guys know what I like to do. We like to go over to the moon, and we like to see what we have here. So, for the Altar of Sorrow today, so that would be located in Soros Harbor, we have the Heretic. Obviously, this will change daily, so make sure that, you know, you do it today. It's the Heretic. That's the best thing I can tell you. As usual, we have the Pit of Heresy, so you need to defeat Zulmak. Really not that bad of a dungeon. You guys can solo it. It's not too bad if you can't solo it. That's all good. Go into the Destiny Find a Fire team, and you'll find loads and loads of people. The Nightmare Hunts this week are as follows: Isolation, which is Tanix the Scarred, Zydron, the Gate Lord, and then we have Skolas, the Kell of Kells, and then we have a Mysterious Disturbance. So it's travel to the moon and stave off the Hive Resurgence alongside your fellow Guardians. That is the first mission for Shadowkeep, so make sure you go and check that out. As usual, for the the Lectern of Enchantment, we have to kill 20 nightmares. Obviously, I've done this, and I still haven't gone to go cash that in because I'm an idiot. Now we also have to defeat or do 4 weekly bounties from Eris for a powerful tier 1 gear. And once you do that, you've completed everything on the moon. Now that we've covered that, we are also going to go look at the raids, because I know people, you know, sometimes still do the Nessus raids. I am going to cover them anyways. I know a lot of people don't think it matters, but you know what? We're going to do it anyways. So for this week, the Leviathan rotates as follows: Gauntlet, Baths, the Dogs, and then Callus. It's also the Royal Pools for the challenge, so if you haven't done the Royal Pools, make sure you do the challenge located there. So Baths, essentially it will be the second one this week. You have to complete Gauntlet first and then go into Baths. As for the Prestige raid layers, the following... Sorry, I'm just going to try to find a raid layer. The following modifiers are for Prestige. Prestige is Arsenal, and then Arms Master. Arms Master, you've been challenged to wield the following: anything kinetic, energy is fusion, power is fusion rifle. As for Prestige Arsenal, weapons have no reserve ammo. Emptying the clip of a weapon refills the clip of your holstered weapon. Very interesting. As usual on this, now that we've covered that, we are going to go to the tower and we're going to take a look at the bounties located there, and then that will wrap up the video for January 14th, 2020. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. we forgot to check the European Dead Zone to see what forge it is, and it is the Izanami Forge, which probably the best one, in my opinion. Now we will go check out the bounties. So now that we've loaded into the tower, obviously the dawning is gone, so it's back to the regular old, you know, mishmash of stuff located in the tower. I know I'm a little bit disappointed. I missed the whole Christmas look, but, you know, all good things must come to an end. Till next year, or this year, sorry. So, we're going to check the weekly bounties from the obelisk, as usual. These ones that we have are Steal the Show, so use finishers on Cabal combatants and defeat Cabal in the system. And then defeat bosses in strikes, which I can, if you guys have watched my videos, you know the best way to do this. Lost to time, clear lost sectors anywhere in the system. Making the rounds, complete patrols anywhere in the system. Grand finale, use finishers on fallen combatants and defeat fallen anywhere in the system. And then a grand adventure, complete adventures anywhere in the system. And then lastly, we have complete patrols anywhere in the system. And then Hero's Journey, complete a heroic adventure and defeat enemies anywhere in the system. Not too bad. Some of these are very different from last week's, of course. Now we're going to go talk to Zavala and see what he has for bounties. I know that this is probably getting old, but I like to show these bounties anyways because they are a good source of bright dust. So this week he has Thin the Horde in multiple strikes, defeat hive enemies, and then Scorched Earth, defeat enemies with solar and complete 3 strikes. So essentially, just do 3 hive strikes, do the Will of the Thousands for Zol, boom, boom, boom. You guys didn't need to watch another one of my videos to complete these. Just do that bounty, or that strike. As for Crucible this week, we have Quantum Mechanic, complete matches and defeat opponents with void damage.
This was made for you.
And then Step into the Light, complete Crucible matches, casting your super, etc., etc.
There's a love of the fight in you, I think.
Not too bad regarding Shax, of course. Now, we are going to go see the Gunsmith. I know I said I wouldn't do him anymore, but I'm still going to go over to him. So as usual, the rig calibration weekly bounty is still glitched. And then we have field calibration, you know, just do Crucible and stuff like that. As for mods today are Sidearm Reserves, Boss Spec, and then the following upgrade modules, which we need Simulation Seeds, Etheric Spiral, Enhancement Prisms need the Simulation Seeds, and Seraphite for the Ascendant Shards. Now that we've covered good old Banshee 44, we are going to go check out Saint 14, then we are going to go check out Hawthorne, and then finally the Drifter and Ada 1 to complete this week's weekly reset.
Ah, my friend. What stories do you have to share?
So for Saint 14 this week, he has, or for today, he has Fallen Down, defeat Fallen anywhere in the system, defeat powerful Cabal enemies, defeat enemies with solar damage, and then defeat enemies using void melee abilities. This one is very tough for the Hunters. For the Warlocks and the Titans, it's not so bad. But that's Saints bounties for today. Remember, they change daily, and there is a triumph to complete a lot of them, so make sure you do them daily. So I know I said various other people. We are going to go check out Callus's little guy here, Benedict 99-40, because he has these weekly bounties, of course, and I want to cover them as well. So, we need to defeat enemies of all species, complete Gambit daily bounties, defeat enemies with class abilities, and then collect lost treasures by defeating enemy combatants anywhere in the system. I'm only going to pick up that one because it is convenient for me. As for this week we have the Mask of Feltrock, Equitus Shade Grips, basically everything for the Spire of Stars raid, and then the last 2 for a Prestige Leviathan and Leviathan Completion. I have not done normal Leviathan or any Leviathan raids basically since Forsaken has dropped. They're not really needed, but I will cover them anyways.
How you living, brother?
So this week for the Drifter, he obviously has Yes Sir, I'm a Closer, On the Grind, and then Might of the Traveler. Essentially, they're the same bounties as last week, so I'm not really going to go into them. Just, you know, play Gambit, earn points by casting your super and getting kills, and banking motes. Now we're going to go check out 801. I know I don't really want to, you know, mostly on my weekly reset stuff hasn't been checking the smaller vendors such as them, but I'm going to start doing that anyways because I want it to be a guide for everything. So, as usual for 801, her bounties don't really change too much. Forging the Future, which is the weekly bounty, eliminate the warden and complete the ignition. Essentially, you need to do this twice to complete the bounty, and then complete Black Armory daily bounties over the course of the week, so that'd be 7 of them. Obviously, there are 5 today, plus this one, so you'll end up getting 6 out of 7 today, and then you need to do 1 tomorrow for the reset. But today's bounties are complete patrols or adventures with at least 1 Black Armory weapon equipped anywhere in the system. Forge Saboteurs. Eliminate one of the Forge Saboteurs roaming around the Lost Forges. So this one is the Gulch in the EDZ and an Artifact's Edge. And then destroy the Black Armory shield drones protecting the Forge Saboteur. So these ones kind of tie in together, which you can do this one in one go. Just let the shield of the Forge Saboteur come back. Now we have Lost Forge power kills. Defeat enemies with power weapons while participating in the ignition of a Lost Forge. And then defeat enemies while participating in the ignition of a Lost Forge. Essentially, these two, again, go toe in toe. Just make sure you get power weapon kills, and make sure you just get normal kills with the power weapon, light machine gun, grenade launcher, anything like that. I highly recommend using the Hammerhead because it is a Black Armory weapon, light machine gun, and it is one of the best. Now we're going to go finally check out Hawthorne, and that will conclude this weekly reset. Hopefully you guys like this different format. I'm actually going to work on a better format of doing these weekly resets just so the video isn't too long. Sorry, my mic kind of cut out there for a minute.
You gonna hang out with your clan today?
No, I'm not going to hang out with my clan today because my clan's dead. So, the clan bounties this week are win Gambit matches with clanmates, assist or land final blows with clanmates in the Crucible, complete any raid with clanmates, and then as usual the weekly raid challenges. To each their own, do the To Each Their Own challenge in Scourge of the Past. Then we have to do the Summoning Ritual challenge in the Last Wish, and then the With Both Hands challenge in the Last Wish as well. And that will conclude this week's weekly reset for January 14th, 2020. Thank you guys all for watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification box. I'm posting daily Destiny content with trophy guides as well, and to give it a little bit of a mix. Comment down below if this helped you in any way, shape, or form if you have any questions. And as always, guys, have a great day, and peace out.